Hi everybody, it's Kathy, and thanks for coming back. I'm here with part 2 of my file folder journal tutorial, so stick around. A reminder, we're making this, but with different paper, a fold-out journal made from one file folder. Got all sorts of nooks and crannies. I'm going to keep that close because I'm kind of using it as a model. We'd gotten to the point where we made the base and we put in the little journal with the signature. So next we're going to move on to, let's do this panel here, the one right next to the signature. And as a reminder, what we're doing here, we're going to make a flap like this. That's actually a full-page envelope or pocket. And it's got a little holder. You're going to need a circle punch, 1 inch. And I'm connecting it using very thin elastic, okay? So that's what we're going to do over here. And let me get my circle punch out, which I forgot. Okie doke. What we need to cut here is 4 3/4 by 8 1/4. Let me make sure that measurement is correct. So it's 4 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4. Should be perfect. We're going to make it a little not so wide as that. So we're going to make it 4 1/2 by 8 1/4. And what I'm going to do is because the paper that I'm going to use is thin, it's not cardstock, I'm actually going to make the pocket out of this and cover it with cardstock. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. And I think that will be fine. You want to make sure that everything folds up nicely in there. And the way I'm going to do it first is I'm going to cut it to 8 1/4. And what I've done is I've taken an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet and I folded it in half because it is going to be a pocket. It'll save me some time. I'm also on the end, well, I already did that. I'm going to take a little piece of this. This will hold the flap in place. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut one that's the same width. And it'll be a little thinner. I'm going to make it about 2 inches. So 2 inches by about 4 1/4. And I'm going to fold that in half. And I'm now, for the pocket, before I do anything else, I'm going to cover this in the paper that I want to use. So I had this color for the signature. So what I think I'm going to do is put a contrasting color next to it. And then to draw the eye over, I'm going to use this as the flap for the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to cover the paper in this. And I'm take the lazy way out. I simply cover this all in glue. Whoop. Well, it's not coming out. Stick that in there. See if that helps. Yes, kind of. Got something stuck in there. Let me see what I can do. I usually keep a pin in an eraser close by for when my glue gets stopped up. And let's try again. No, I'm having trouble with that. Okay. It must have just had a glunk in there. And I'm going to simply put this over the top. I am matching up the top and the sides. I don't want to waste too much of this paper. Pressing it on. And then I'm going to cut the excess off. And what I usually do, I usually buy a lot of this just regular cardstock in this kind of neutral color. And that helps me when I don't have cardstock in a pretty pattern that I want. So I can use just the scrapbook paper. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a notch. And you have to make sure because the notch is going to be at the top here. Ding. So I'm going to cut that notch, try to get it centered like that. I'm going to glue this down, but not quite. What I'm going to do is take my flap and I'm going to flap it into the envelope before I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to do one side. And the other side. And I want to put it at the bottom. Actually, this is going to be the top. It's confusing. I'll show you how that goes in a moment. We're going to fold that down. And now we can close the side and the bottom. Oops. So what you have is you have a pocket with a little flap sticking out. And what you want is you want your notch to be at the bottom so that when you open this up, you have a full pocket. Okay? So your notch is at the bottom. I'm going to put glue on this side. And just like that, I'm going to put it. You want to make sure it's correct at the top. but mostly at the bottom. Okay, and we don't have to worry about this. That can be covered up. In fact, I'm going to cover that up right now. And I'm going to cover that with a little piece of this, just so I have the contrast. And I'm not a measurer. Sometimes that doesn't suit me well. Sometimes it does. And you could put washi tape here, or you could leave it. You could actually just leave it as is. But I'm going to put this here just to bring this other color over here when you open it up. And in fact, I'm going to make it just a little tuck spot. So I'm going to just glue it on 3 sides. That's a little different than what I had in the other. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Didn't get enough glue there. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. I didn't get glue there because there wasn't supposed to be glue there. Have you ever done that? I'm thinking ahead too much. Okay, we're going to put that down. Now we need the little flap on this side that we did here. We need a little flap here, and I need a little circle thing there. So, first thing we're going to do is make the flap for the bottom, and I want to make it out of this material as well, this paper. So, I'm going to do it just like this. And the measurements of this would be 4 1/4. Let me make sure. Tell you for sure. It is, yes, 4 1/4. And you want it about 2.5 inches. And what that will do, that will allow you to fold under about 1/2 inch. Just like that. So that this goes just like that. So I'm going to glue the bottom piece like this. And I'm actually going to put it on here because this is a little thinner and I want it to match up correctly. Just like this. Okay? The next thing we want to do is we want to cut out circle punch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to cut out, right now we'll just do 4 circles. And I'm going to do them out of this same paper. 1, 2, 3. Oh, please let me get 4. Well, actually this will be okay. I'll put that in the back of this one. And we're going to put those together. So it's okay if I have a little circle that's out. It'll still be strong enough. Same with this one. Ideally, you don't want to do that. I just didn't want to go into another piece of paper that I might have to use. And I only have a little piece of this left. So we're going to put one up there and one there. So I need 2 brads. And I already have them out. And hole punch. So your circle has to go right close to the top on this one. Okay. It's one. And the other one, if I can find it, here it is. It's going to go right up here. And probably I'm going to use my pokey tool for this, because my hole punch, unless I get out my big one, won't reach in there. So I'll use this. And you're going to put that right near the top. You want to lift it up so you don't go through the whole journal. It's okay about the pocket because it's down at the bottom. And you want to push it all the way through. I'm having a little trouble because remember I had the flap inside of it. Okay. So let's find the escaping brad. There it is. And that little sucker. Those brads end up on the floor, every place where they're not supposed to be. Now you could take a some tape, which I can do right now. You don't have to though, but you could take a little tape and put it on the top here. You could also cut out an extra circle to go on the back. Either one. But I'll put a little tape. And I'm also going to put a little tape on the back of this one, just so it doesn't get caught on anything, right? A little wrinkle in there. Okie doke. Put that away. Throw that away. And we have a little flap. Now we have to put the elastic on. And this is the smallest elastic, the thinnest. It doesn't need a, you don't need a, you know, big heavy duty. It's not holding anything in really. And I tie it in 2 knots and cut off this one And leave this one a little longer so you know which is which. So there we have a little flap with a full pocket. And now we want something in here. I actually forgot to cover this up to make it pretty. I'm gonna leave that for now. We can do that later. And in here you can put anything you want. I didn't put another pocket in here. If you'll notice in the first one I made, I simply added a piece of tracing paper and put some little corner tags on it. So what I'm going to put in is, I think I have a tag that I can put in. Let's see if I have something that'll fit. Will this fit? This just might fit, and that might be a nice surprise in there. It's a little tag with a little envelope in it. No, I'm gonna put a piece of tracing paper in there. I don't think I need to put the tag in. And I love to buy tracing paper because, and I buy 25-pound tracing paper because this is what I buy. It's 9 by 12, but I use it in my printer. And you can print anything on your tracing paper. And it makes such pretty pages for your journals. So I'm just gonna fold this up. Fold it up. And that'll go right in there. I need something here. Let's see. I have a bowl with junk. Nothing in here. I have another bowl with junk. My junk bowls. Maybe a pretty, let's see. Let's see what I got. No, I don't have anything. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is I'm gonna ink up this paper. You always wanna ink on the outside folds. That's where it would typically age. And the outside of the paper, the edge, outside edges of the paper. And you always want to do front and back. Whoop, got kind of off there, didn't I? Okay. And I think there's probably something I can put on the corners. Let's see. You know what I think I'll do is just take a strip of this. Maybe cut off some corners. I'm using the first one as a template, so they're all matching. I'm so sad. This is my last piece of this pretty paper. My last scrap. And I'm just going to glue these on. I'm going to grab another glue. And I'm going to glue that on there. Hope I've been in the frame. I apologize if I keep going out of it. And one there. You can put whatever you want under this flap. I always like to put pieces of either fabric folded up or tracing paper. And you can always write a special note on it. Hide it away under the flap. Okay. That'll do it. Yabba dabba do. Okay, and that's going to go right under here. And this is going to go. Now we need something here, and I think I do have a tag that I can put here. I'll use my little girl. Ideally, I was going to make this one into a tag, but I don't want to take your time. You can decorate your tag however you choose, and I think she's pretty there. Okay, so we're done with that panel. We're going to do this panel next. And the only thing I'm doing in this panel is I have this that I already made. If I can get it open, we have it. Whoops. That's because it goes on this way. And this is simply a fold out little thing that has some paper to write on. And then this opens and you have a little space, a tuck spot. And these are little pockets with some little cards in them. Let me create a belly band that's going to hold it. And I have to straighten it out because I never measure, and I actually should have cut this on my cutter, but c'est la vie. Okay, since it's a little thicker down here, a little wider, I'm going to put the belly band down here. Just like that. And I'm actually going to cover this in this paper. Let me move this out of the way for a moment. Oh, stonato camaruso. That means something in Italian. I believe it means stupid something. If anybody knows, let me know. I learned that from my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law. She was so cute. She used to always say that when she did something wrong. Or she'd say it to her husband. Okay. Let's bring this back. And we're going to put this right down here. I'm glad it matches up to the lines. I wondered if it would. It really won't. But it almost does. That's what counts. Put some glue on it. The tricky part is that folder sticking to, being able to fit under it. That's what's going to be the tricky part. I can feel it. Okay. So it's good because this little thing kind of catches it and it still looks pretty. Okay, so that's done. Hopefully it doesn't stick too badly over here. Okay, so we've done this, we've done this. Now we're going to do here, and here we're going to put a couple of pockets. Simply pockets. And to do that, to save some trouble, I'm going to mount the paper that I'm going to use right on there first. And I think I have enough left. I can use this, which is good. Cut this off. And let me measure. So I think these will fit right where they're supposed to fit. Let's see. Yeah. There. Okay. So I can cut it right on those lines. Okay. I love this paper. It comes from the Country Road collection by Paper Studio. I've never seen the cardstock in it though. They probably make it, but I've never seen it. Okay. So we can have one be just to this line, and one just after that line. And here in this particular one, you can do anything you want inside each of these little areas. And I do want to ink these up because this is a different, well, also to cover up the different color. I always stop in the middle of sentences. And it actually is a different color. I want it to be a little aged looking. On this one, shh, Michael. Sorry, guys. My brother's coming through and I wanted to let him know. I was recording. Okay, let me do a little more here. In circles. There we go. Now we can put these in. And that'll go there and there. I like it. Sometimes when I make pockets, I put in the little edges that flip under. Sometimes I don't. Really depends on my mood. Typically I don't. Unless I'm using very thin paper. Okay. So that's done. We're going to have to come up with stuff to go inside there, but I think for right now it's okay. Everything folds up. You always want to be checking to make sure everything folds okay. This goes here, and this is going to go on top. Ooh, and I don't like the way that does that. One might have to find something else to go in there, but we'll see. Okay, over on this side, what we have is we have this flap kind of pocket thing. And that's what we're going to do next. And it's 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I am going to use my cutter for this one. So I'm actually going to make it 6 1/2 because by 8 1/4, because then I'm just going to fold it. And again, I'm going to use this harder paper. So 6 1/2, 6 1/2 by 8 1/4. Let's do it this way. 8 1/4 by 6 1/2. Okay. And fold that. In half. And the next thing I'm going to do, first I want to make sure it's going to fit. We want to do a couple of things. We want to cut, actually you don't need to cut this one. We're cutting a little flap that's around 2 inches, and we're going to fold that flap in half. We're going to use that to hold our envelope in. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the hole for the window. Now, if you have window envelopes, you can go ahead and use those. I don't happen to have any. So I'm going to cut myself a template. And my template's around 1 inch and almost 1.5 inches. Probably less once I even it up. Let's see. Let's see how much it should be. Oh, it's even less than that. Interesting. Okay. So this is going to serve as the template for my window. And I'm not gluing it in. I'm using it on my cutter. And I'm trying to line up the line on the edge of the window to the cutter. If it doesn't quite line up, that's okay. Just like that. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do the same thing over here to the bottom. Just like that. And I don't need that anymore because I already have a line. And this little ridge on your cutter is the line that I'm following. Okay, so it almost worked. It worked pretty well. this over here. And what I'm going to do next is I have like a wax paper sandwich bag. I'm going to cut that to cover, you know, make the little window. So I'm going to cut it right on this line. We're going to cut it right about there. Put that aside, open this up, and I'm going to glue it down. I can cut off a bit. And just like that. Just like that, we have a window envelope. It's kind of cool. And what I should have done is kind of ink these edges. And I don't think I'm going to cover this one, because I want it kind of to look like an envelope. Now you could cover it in pretty paper or make it with pretty cardstock in the beginning. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm only going to glue the bottom, because I want you to be able to slip things in like that. Okay, so I'm just gluing the bottom. Just like that. Let me give this a little more coloring. There we go. And on the back. Okay, good enough. Now the piece that we folded, the strip, that strip's going to go right here. And then we're going to glue the envelope right on top of it. So first let's glue the strip down. You want to make sure you have it just to the right of your fold line. That's why I make it so thin. And then this is going to go right on top. Make sure it doesn't come over the edge over here. And I put the glue right on the strip rather than on the envelope. That way I'm kind of sure where it's going. Just like that. Okay. And inside there, we'll worry about in a moment. Now, let me just add some more stuff here. This is going to be covered up because we're going to put pockets on the back of here and a pocket here. Let's see. Okay, and 8 1/4. And we're gonna make it 8. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. You go like this. I didn't account for the flap on the envelope. Duh. And let me cover this side. And this one, I think I'm going to cover with this pink paper. Just like that. Whoop. Nope. I thought I would have enough from that side. The art glitter glue dries really quickly, so you have to work fast. And I'm going to trim it off. Okay. And on this one, it's going to come around like that. And I'm going to even it up. Okay. And this flap, did I have enough left of the pretty paper? I might. I just might. I do. If I just make this a true flap, I think I can do it. Okay, so let me glue this on to the back. Just like that. Oh, this sticks right away. Now that's not nice. Okay, then we want to cut out a circle. So I will cut it out from this paper. I want to cut out 2 because we're going to put another little rivet, grommet, whatever you call it, here. We're going to stick that right. I have to cut this off a little bit more even, because when we put our grommet, here, let me do this the way I should do it so it matches, might help. Okay. I'm going to put this right here. Going to ink up the sides a little bit. Then I'm going to grab my hole punch. If you could see the top of this desk, well, I guess you can see some of the mess I have. So let me try to move that out of the way. Okay. And we're going to punch a hole. Actually, we'll do it at the same time. So this has to be way down here. And I'm going to have to use my little pokey tool. And find the grommet. No, find the, what is this called? I forget what this is called. The thing. Okay. And that didn't ink up well enough, so let me. And then for this one, let me cut a piece of skinny elastic again. And then we're going to tie a knot here. That's my dog barking. Hopefully my husband will take him out. But he'll probably just let him run into the living room where I am. And I'm gonna put it around the back. And what I like to do is just put a little piece of glue here. And this is going right back here. I do want to cover up this piece since I made this smaller. So let me see what I've got. Okay, this will work. Let's see how long it needs to be. This right there. And we'll just put it here. Make sure it closes. Put this here. And we're actually going to glue this down ever so slightly. Okay, so I knotted the wrong side. Oh no, oh no, oh no, said the blind man. So this should have. Whoop, I'm sorry for that. Jackson. Let's see what happens. Okay. There we go. Now, open it up. Hopefully we open it up. And inside, we actually are going to glue this. It's not going to open all the way. It's just going to be enough space to hold the tag. Okay. So we'll figure out the tag in a moment. Now we're on this side, we're going to put 2 pockets as well. And let's see what kind of pockets we're looking for. That's a piece of leftover I can use. They should be 3 by 3 1/4. So Let's make them 3 inches. It's a little crooked. 3 inches by 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. I'm going to cover those. We're going to use the pink paper again if I have enough. And I do, because I want them both going the same way. So we're going to cover that one. Hurry before it dries. And hurry before it dries. Okay, cut off the excess. Do y'all talk to yourself while you're crafting? Because if you do, you should be making videos. Because that's all you do. It's fun. You have someone to talk to. And in these, I'm going to make 2 notches, one going, both of them going this way. Okay, so if I can locate my, here it is, my punch. Goes there. One goes here. And I do want to cover this page here with some pretty paper. And I happen to have a piece that's just the right size almost, which is perfect. I like it when you get lucky like that. We're going to put that right there. We're going to have to cut off the excess. And cut off the excess. And the excess. Okay. And these go right here. And on these, I'm only going to put glue on this side and this side, because I want a pocket going this way as well. Okay. Well, you know what I did is I'm wrong. I wanted to have a back to these pockets so that you can slip things in there. So you're going to put glue all the way around on these except for where the notch is going to be. Okay, and then when you glue them down, you're only going to put glue around 3 edges. Am I making it perfectly clear? Probably not. Let me find another piece. I'll have to use this. And we're going to glue that all the way around 3 edges. and then glue it here, here, and here. Just like that. Okay. And you see what I did is I didn't match it up correctly. So I'm going to take it off and put it this way. And what we'll have to do is, I'll have to keep it like that. I can turn this one around. Like this. No. Ay, 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 ay. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. What you want to remember to do when you're doing this, I'm not going to go back and correct it, is you want your 3/4 inch going this way. I mishmashed them, but that's okay. It will be fine. Now let's put some stuff in the pockets. I have some stuff already made. I have a tag that I'm going to put here. I purchased this from, I don't remember who, but I love it. That's going to go in there. I have 2 little tags I can put in these. I need to put some string on them. I like the pink one and that one. I think I have some string over here. Okay, I'm going to put that in here. And so you can put that in here and here. Put that there. And a little card in there. It's actually a little booklet. Okay. Did we put something in here? We need something to go in here. I don't think this will fit. It will if it's if it doesn't, if it's not closed on that end. So we're going to keep that over there. What that is, let me show you what that is. Kind of like it. It's a little folding, little folio with stuff in it. I have a tutorial on these somewhere down there. So we'll put that in. Kitties are waiting for their snack. Okay, so I think we're done. So let's see what we did. We need something for these. I'll have to get that later. I won't take your time up. Okay, let's fold it all up. See that it works. And then what we have to do is on the front, we need to put our ribbon. Make sure it goes around. And what I like to do is usually take like a little piece of, I always keep muslin on hand because I like to put it in little collages I make. And I like that you can ink it up. So I'm going to do that. And then I take that, I'm going to glue, glue, and glue. So I'm going to take my ribbon. I'm actually going to glue that as well. Put glue back here. Let me open it up so I'm doing it right. Make sure I have it in half. Put it down on the glue. Put down more glue. This has dried a little bit while I was playing there. And then I put this over it. And I try to glue it all the way around. It's kind of a little raggedy. I love that look. Fold it, make sure it folds well. I think the glue gets nice and stuck. And just like that. I'm going to decorate the cover. And I want to put something on the envelope here. I'm going to put a word. I got these from Tim Holtz. Let's see, collect beautiful moments. I think goes well with the pretty, I'm going to ink it with the pretty paper. I'm going to put that right here. Then I could actually put a little piece of this down here, just for the heck of it. I should have inked it before I put it on. There. And then on the front, and you see how much you get into these. It's amazing how much you can do in these little file folder journals. I love them. I'm going to put something up here. I think it needs some lace. I have some leftover lace I took from another journal. So, kind of like it on that side. So let me put it down there. Go right over the muslin. And it's gonna go right down the edge. I like the way that looks. And maybe something else. We'll put that there. And something up there. What do I have here? Times Square. I just love the way metal looks on this stuff. Like the sweetness of the pinks and then the hardness of the metal looking stuff. So I'm gonna put that there. Kind of like that. It says Times Square. Doesn't really go with anything that we're doing, but I like the way it looks. There's a tutorial on how to make these. I learned it from Bohemian Crafting. She's got amazingly creative stuff. I think her name is Elsa or something. Okay, I think that's it. Let me just put those other 2 tags in and we can call it quits. Yeah, I'll have to put a string on that. I'll get that later. Okie doke. Well, you all, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you learned something and make one of these. They're quite fun to make, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's a longer process, but I love the fact that you get so many pockets and different things and so many options for making it the way you want to make it and using the colors that you want to use. Because art is whatever you think it is. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So here's the 2 that I made. And I will be making them again. I really love to make file folder journals. Thank you all and have a good day. Bye.